videos can be very easily manipulated and republished.
We're being influenced by bots interacting with bots.
Johnny Depp is clearly winning right now in the court of public opinion.
I've never been so scared in my life.
Once upon a time in PHC, a married couple gave birth to the cutest kid. Destined to preach the hand of God was upon him. But the road ahead of him wasn't easy until he found Christ, whose yoke is easy. Now everything is easy peasy weezy for cheesy. Really easy picking cheese mixed with joyful living. When you give your life to Christ, life is sweet and creamy. Yum yum, tastes like heaven on a bed of roses. Come, I see some say that's not the way it is. But you don't know the power Jesus gives. You carry your cross after the cross with power he gives thee. Power that exceeds the wildest dreams and fantasies of Samson. Yep, the power of the spirit. Problem is you don't know the power given to thee or how to use it, so I'm here to teach thee.
Can you please tell the jury why you're here today?
Ms. Hurd accused me of abuse.
My ex-husband is suing me.
Brutal, cruel,
This is humiliating for any human being to go through.
and bold.
Crying without tears. Always notice when a woman is crying without tears. You know, for an actress, you would think that she should know things like this.
False.
Amber Heard forever changed Mr. Depp's life and reputation.
Behind the fame, you're going to see who the real Johnny Depp is.
Depp was the one who wanted the cameras in the courtroom. She didn't.
I would argue it's a PR campaign disguised as a defamation case.
There's the man himself.
It's been a social media circus of commentary from creators and influencers.
Did you commit any kind of...
I'm not surprised. Of course, you can see Netflix logo there. So this seems to be pro Amber Heard. So they are basically making a movie that is pro Amber Heard, and this is the problem. With everything that has come out, this is the issue. This is what feminism does, and this is why this friction, men versus women, all of this is. No matter what a woman does, it is always the man's fault. In the situation with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, it is clear that Amber Heard is in the wrong. But even now, rather than letting this thing calm down, Caesar, I'm not surprised. I won't be surprised if Amber Heard is behind this. This is what she's making. You know, this is a basically movie, documentary, whatever that is pro Amber Heard, because of course the woman is always right. You know, the woman is always the victim. You know, wow, this is crazy. This is crazy. And I'm not surprised. This is why I talked to you about Netflix and why we need, you know, our own Christian Netflix. Interestingly, Netflix actually came after PureFlix. But PureFlix, which is a Christian stuff, you know, is owned by somebody who is very interested in putting himself, he's an actor, and he's more interested in putting himself in his own movies in PureFlix, and his company sold to Sony. So it's basically under a secular mother company that restricts everything, and of course is subject to ESG scores and all those diversity, equity, and all of that nonsense, and LGBT whatever. So we know the kind of Christian movies that will be made by PureFlix, and whether God is going to have any hand in PureFlix or not. But you know, that's another story. We need real Christian, you know, entertainment companies, Christian Netflix, Christian Disney. You know, we need to take over all these things, all the 7 mountains and beyond. We need to take over entertainment, education, all of this, because right now the devil has taken it over, and it's clear. Like you can see the LGBT and what they are doing in pushing their agenda in everything. If we do not stand up and go against all those things, it's going to be a problem. Because, you know, these guys are anti-Christian, and they are doing everything that is basically striving for destroying, in the long run, all of humanity as we know it and civilization.
Prank? Absolutely not.
On my side of the bed was human fecal matter.
This has moved away from a news story or a lawsuit.
So the anger of the women is that, they feel they have lost victim status, and you know, Amber Heard put a monkey wrench in the whole Me Too movement stuff of all men are abusers, and women are victims and all that nonsense. You know, the Me Too movement, and there was a sister movement to the Me Too movement, which Amber Heard was a key part of. I can't recall the name right now. But those folks stuck with her until it got towards the end, and it was like, they had to let go. In spite of the, videos of Amber Heard, saying the who is going to believe you stuff. Imagine if a man had said it. Imagine if a man had been in a situation where a quarter of the things Amber Heard did to Johnny Depp, a man did it to a woman. That man will be behind bars for life. But rather, because Amber Heard is a woman, we see movies that are still trying to go after Johnny and still trying to justify her, still trying to persecute Johnny even more. This is so sad. This is so sad. And all of this is going to blow up in women's faces because, you see, we are already coming from a world where women were treated as queens. And men had no problem to be treated as slaves. Men fought to be treated as slaves. Men fought to go to wars to protect their wives. If anybody insults a woman, her brothers or her father or her husband would challenge him to a duel and battle to the death. The reason behind a lot of wars were women. Why did John the Baptist's head get cut off? A woman. Who chased Elijah? Jezebel, a woman. Women are actually, through history, have been more deadly, and their own deadliness is different. It's kind of like, almost like a grand vizier. A grand vizier is not king, but he stands behind the king and gives advice. And when you study the grand vizier, because they are the real intellectuals behind the king, the grand viziers back then, the sorcerers, the wizards, those folks that will stand and be giving advice to the king. Though the king had absolute authority, these people, many of whom were the ones that trained and educated the king. So the king is basically a reproduction of the ideologies of these people. That is the kind of situation that the queen had. And look at a chessboard. Who is the most powerful piece on a chessboard? Is the queen. But people want to lie, and feminism will put all kinds of lies and say, women have been oppressed throughout history and all of that. No, women have been enjoying. So now that women are doing all these things, we are not going to fight for a return to traditional. What we are going to do is, you want equality, we are going to give you true equality, not the fake equality. If you want a quota system of 50% of CEOs have to be women, then 50% of garbage men have to be garbage women. 50% of oil rig workers have to, if you want to bring quota system into CEO positions and white collar jobs, then bring quota system into the bottom level jobs as well. So if you want equality, we'll give you equality. That is, we are not going back to chivalry. We can't go back to chivalry because chivalry led us here. Giving women everything they want, and when a woman wants to pass over a mud pond, we take off our shirt and we put it there for her to walk. That has turned into insults, and we were oppressed then. Okay, so we are going to give them equality or true oppression, so that maybe they will, since we've given them, treating them as queens and they call it oppression, maybe they should be given true oppression, then they will call it being treated as queens. And it's interesting that people are not smart enough to see all these things and why a lot of all these things are pushed. And the woman is always so easy to be deceived, and that is why in the last days, Babylon, the mother of harlots, the shifting of things to put the woman in charge, put the woman on top of the man, put the woman as the head of government, of the home, everything. It's necessary for Satanism. Who did the snake in the garden go to first? Eve. Satan got to Adam through Eve, but Eve he just went directly to. Women, because of their nature, they are much more easily deceived and manipulated, and since they are more emotional than men, they are better victims for deceit than men.
And it's
and also easier to manipulate.
Formed into a cultural moment.
People are live tweeting. People are live streaming. Where does it end?
The engagement is phenomenal.
Videos can be very easily manipulated and republished.
We're being influenced by bots interacting with bots.
Johnny Depp is clearly winning right now in the court of public opinion.
I've never been so scared in my life.
You can see again, crying without tears. Always beware of women who cry without tears. You know, as a matter of fact, we should begin to laugh at such nonsense.
Opinion.
I've never been so scared.
You see that? Crying without tears. Looking like Greta Thunberg.
She's acting.
This trial is about...
That's true, she's acting. And by the way, I follow that guy's, you know, most of his videos. He has not posted for, or perhaps one of the channels I used to watch YouTube with now, you know, I'm not particular, I may not be subscribed to him with on that one, but I've been watching a lot of his videos, you know, back then, you know.
This trial is about so much more than Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard.
Why are we all so fascinated with this case? Because they're famous, because of the details.
What didn't the jury see?
He just kicked me.
It didn't happen.
I don't know who to believe.
I was hitting you. Mr. Depp is your victim, isn't he?
This is not so much about the legal merit, but rather...
Amber Heard is very stupid for her to do this. At this point, look at the Nexum situation and what Alison Mack did. Alison Mack kept quiet. You know, after she has done all that, she has kept quiet, because when you resurface, you now bring up all these things. You know, so... oh my. And it shows how privileged and entitled and how evil a lot of people are. You know, this is crazy. An entire movie just made to still, you know, go after Johnny Depp. And this is the kind of thing that will annoy men and creates more of a red pill movement and more Andrew Tates. Andrew Tate is actually much more calmer right now. You know, a lot of things that Andrew Tate was for, you know, he doesn't say, and he's no longer leaning in a lot of those directions. He's saying he's leaning towards the more traditional. You know, now, you know, a lot of things you can see he's getting older, the thinking process and all of that. A lot of the things he said before, you know, he's now stepping away from them. And he's not doing the I apologize, I'm running, you know, bowing, taking a knee kind of thing. But he's just not saying those kinds of things anymore. You know, he has not yet publicly said I denounce or I'm against all the previous things I said. You know, but now when you hear him talking, you know, you see a lot of things that he said that are just traditional. You know, it's no longer, because the pimp Andrew Tate is now like gone. However, this kind of thoughts will create worse Andrew Tates. You know, all the things that people thought were bad about Andrew Tate, which, you know, apparently it has turned out that most of it was just not true. You create more of that. You now create MGTOW. The fact that MGTOW even exists is a huge problem. The fact that the red pill exists, you know, is not in the long run good for society. But I understand there has to be some response to feminism. All men are evil, men bad, this, that. You can't keep doing that. And then when you do something like this where somebody is so obviously guilty and you want to fight for them, why would you? You can still push feminism but ignore the Amber Heard situation. Even if you are a woman that is all women are right, why will you want to pick this case and then fight for trying to justify Amber Heard? It's kind of like fighting to justify R. Kelly. You know, at this point, you know, that that ship has sailed. You know, there is no fighting for R. Kelly. You know, you can't make him look innocent. You cannot make R. Kelly look innocent. That is out of the question. You can say that, well, I don't think the punishments meets the crime. But, you know, at this point, why even go there? You know, it's just there's so much, why go there? Now, this is so funny. This makes a sense that no matter how much a man is persecuted, no matter what a woman does to a man, the man is the devil. We have a situation where, with the white man bad, all the demonization of straight white males. But when a white man says he's gay or transsexual or queer, he exempts himself from the criticism and the white supremacy. When a white man says he's queer, no matter if all his ancestors were members of the KKK and were burning African Americans left, right, and center, it doesn't matter as long as he says he's queer. But if we find somebody who who is a descendant of those who fought alongside Abraham Lincoln to set the slaves free, and he happens to wear a MAGA hat, that person is the devil. That is, and the biggest racist and biggest white supremacist. That is the world we are living in. So what even matters? What is real? People are not even looking into things and defining things correctly. And that's a problem. This is why you want to know why there's an Andrew Tate. This is why. Making things like this, you cannot be making a movie trying to justify Amber Heard. That ship has sailed. The best thing, I think Amber Heard is working on a movie. A lot of people in America don't want anything to do with her, so she is making a movie somewhere else. Why would she? This is the stupidity, and this is why we have people like Fresh and Fit. And it's going to get worse, because down the line we are going to have people who are not even going to bother to articulate, who are going to be like the left. The left does not care about your points. They just stand for what they believe, and they push what they push. They don't care about any reasoning or any sense. That does not concern. By the time we start seeing that kind of behavior on both sides, it's going to be chaos on earth on a totally different level, because we have two people that cannot sit, cannot reason, have no plans of resolve. There's no hope of resolving any issue, but just chaos ensuing. It's sad. An entire movie, and this is what Netflix is pushing. That Johnny Depp is evil, and Amber Heard is a victim. Wow, this is the dumbest thing anyone can do.
Rather, what the public perception is.
And that leads us to the real question, which is, what is the actual truth?
Oh boy, this is so funny. Netflix is from the devil. Netflix is Satan. If you want to know what Satan wants you to think, if you want Satan to pour his ideas and thoughts into you, just watch Netflix. That's what Netflix is. Netflix is Satan's streaming service. That's what Netflix is. This is so crazy. When I saw this, I just thought, well, perhaps there is somebody trying to exploit the situation and, make a movie about something that's already there. Everybody knows, everything about, just trying to make money off of that. Then it was like, oh, perhaps they want to try to balance and give both sides. But after watching it, it's clearly a pro Amber Heard. And it's, Amber Heard is a woman, so the man is the victim. Oh, it is the public that made up their mind. It is the public that said that just made Amber Heard guilty. No, it is her tapes, her own recordings. It is her own videos. It is the reality on ground. And she still feels privileged and she's innocent and all of that. And this is the problem. We have women doing all kinds of stupid things. And in the way that the internet is, they will support women. Like the Keke Palmer situation. A woman decides to be dancing half naked in revealing clothing in front of Usher. And among us men, there are certain things that are not done, and we know what is communicated. You have people like Usher, Chris Brown, or Marion. They have songs that majority of their songs is "Your girl wants to be with me. I can take your girl from you." Then you have a girl who goes and is dancing and acting like Usher is everything in the world. And then the man that she's with complains about it, and what does the internet do? They say, oh, he's insecure. That is crazy. But of course I knew that's relationship, that's how to end the relationship. But anything a woman does, there's always the, oh, we have to stand with women, justify women. And men, and there's the thing, there's even no opportunity to be chivalrous, or what is the point? Because now the villain is all men. You know, so this is crazy. Every situation that arises, oh, let us blame the man. This situation with the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, you know, it is already settled. Right from the times, all the recordings we have seen, we know that Amber Heard is the one who is the abuser. We heard the this is crazy. Imagine if Amber Heard was a man, and we heard that those recordings, a man saying those things about a woman. What will happen? That man is going to be in jail for life. Demonized. You know, there are a lot of female Harvey Weinsteins in Hollywood, but they are doing well because they are women. Even look at this guy, El Chapo. His wife is probably out of jail right now. You know, his wife was given, like, was it less than 5 years or so in jail, and that was something that she could still fight. So I wonder how it ended, whether she ended up getting only 1 year in prison or even less. But this is a woman that is part of a cartel that has killed hundreds upon hundreds of people and pushed drugs, sold drugs. Her and her husband's empire is responsible for over 80% during most periods of all the fentanyl and, you know, the heroin in America. They are the most powerful mafia cartel. And then because she's a woman, she can get away with, I didn't know what my husband was doing. You didn't know where your husband got the money to be buying all those private jets. Oh my goodness. Well, anyway, and everybody knew that he was a criminal. So you didn't ask, oh, why is it that all these people, why do all these people think that my husband is? And by the way, she is somebody that, you know, nobody could mess with her, because that person will end up dead. So even even if you want to dream that she didn't know what her husband was doing, all the bodies that was dropping, if anybody she complains about the person dies tomorrow because a car hits the person or something, it never occurred to her that that her husband is killing everybody that annoys her. Okay, well, but that is it. When you keep on doing this, you will have more Andrew Tates, and all the things that you think are bad about Andrew Tate will become more amplified, and you will have a section of men who will just be super anti-women, and all of this is going in line with the plan of those who want to decrease population, because how can population continue when a lot of women are becoming lesbians, and people are educated in Western schools to be gay, to move in that direction. The US, Biden and so, they come to Africa and want to push homosexuality, which is colonization, and it is an interesting way to destroy your enemy. Because if there's an island, and let's say on that island everybody is gay, on that island, and then there's another island where there's normal traditional families, come back 100 years, that island where everybody is gay, there will be no human beings there. Why? Because they're all gay, they cannot reproduce. But that other island where there are traditional families, you will see a stronger civilization, a solid civilization, a higher population. But we live in a world where people like Bill Gates and friends want to destroy the population because they feel that they are God, and they should decide the number of people that are on the earth, and the number of the people on the earth do not match the resources. So they want to own 1% of the world's wealth. At the same time, they want to own 99% of the world's wealth. Yet at the same time, they want the 1% of the world's wealth to be manageable by the remaining population. And they feel, the population is too large for the 1% of the world's wealth to take care of. So let us decrease the world's population and keep owning 99% of the world's wealth. Why there are just less than 1% of those elite folks who own the 99% of the world's wealth. You know what? Johnny Depp needs to sue Netflix. It's that simple. Johnny Depp, sue Netflix. You know, clip this section of this video and share it. Johnny Depp, sue Netflix. That is what you need to do. This is ridiculous. Say this prayer audibly if you've not given your heart to Jesus Christ. Dear God, I believe in my heart that Jesus Christ, the Son of God, came, died, and was raised from the dead to save me. I confess Him, Lord, over my life and ask You to give me Your Holy Spirit to live within me. I receive Your Spirit by faith and thank You for I am now born again. In Jesus' name, amen. If you just prayed that prayer, congratulations, you're now a Christian. Go to alfred.vip and get resources that will help you with your work with God.